Yeah, it's been a good open week, and now it's time to get back to try to improve and get back in Jordan Hare and try to get us a win. And our kids continue to practice hard, and the staff's working hard, and really proud of just them sticking to it. And obviously, in what's been a disappointing year, the the good ones, man, they fight, and really have been pleased for the most part with everyone in this building. And now we get another challenge at home against a much improved team. Coach Vincent's done a really nice job there in turning that program very, very fast. Outstanding running back, is averaging over 100 yards a game, and they play extremely hard and got really good scheme. Played against them when they were the staff at UAB, and have respect for what they do and how they do it. So it's looking forward to being back in front of our home crowd. They continue to be very supportive, even in challenging times. So we have the best fans. So it's Veterans Day today, and our military appreciation game is this weekend, and it's always an honor for us to be able to honor them, to have the lives we have here in America due to the sacrifice of many men and women on our behalf. We certainly want to join with many others in telling them thank you, and this is a small way we can do it, but certainly excited about being able to honor them this week.
Hugh, coming off the win against Kentucky and then bouncing back and hoping to build on that, but unable to do so against Vanderbilt, what was the response in the locker room to that?
Man, just the same responses we've had. Just a lot of hurt, and you kind of, as a coach, it's the first season for me that's been quite like this, and you kind of lose words for it. When you feel like you're playing against good football teams and you're in the games, and man, you just get zero breaks, zero calls. You make the wrong call at the wrong time, or you don't make the play, or then give them credit too. They made plays, and that 9-minute drive was a dagger. Now, I think 3 or 4 penalties on that drive were certainly. And then a couple no calls that I thought should have been called that would have won our favor. And you're looking at a different thing. Really, heck, the second half we had 2 possessions, other than the one on the 1-inch line, and then the 2-minute drills. I mean, and that's all you had. And so that 9-minute drive was vital for them, and we assisted them in that. And that's what I mean when you're in these close games against good football teams and the margin of error is so small, we just can't seem to get out of our own way sometimes. And again, that is something we've got to get corrected as a staff and as a team.
Hugh, you'd mentioned on the teleconference, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday last week, about looking at the situation at quarterback. Talk to me about where you're standing with that right now.
Well, I mean, Peyton's played solid. Now he was not able to practice last week with the shoulder, and we'll see how this week goes with that, and with the others getting the reps and kind of go from there. But when I say that, it's certainly not an indication that I don't think he has played pretty solid here as of late. So, but you start kind of thinking big picture, and that's not always the easiest thing to do, because you love your players and you want what's best for all of them. That gives us the best chance to win the remaining 3 games, and obviously we'll start seeing how the health is first and foremost.
Yes, you just more on the quarterbacks. Did that with Peyton out? Did you give Walker any more reps than usual? How did you sort of divide up the reps during practice?
Yeah, the second open week, we actually got the threes or the other guys quite a bit of reps. And in the 3 practices we had, And then we had a little scrimmage to close out it. Offense versus defense, other guys that don't typically get reps, and offense won that scrimmage on a pass play from Walker to one of the young receivers, and so it was good to see them get reps. We got to Holden and Hank quite a few also.
Hugh, just what other spots? I mean, obviously, off weeks are usually a time where you can kind of evaluate everything. Obviously, quarterback gets a lot of talk, but what other spots have you looked at guys and anybody that kind of caught your eye during this time off?
Well, it's you're pretty settled at most spots, and we don't have any more DBs to really try right now. And you really were trying to get. I thought Jarquez needed a break. So we got some of the younger guys some more reps there, Christian, and he had some good runs, and obviously Cobb and DeMar got their share also. But you really tried to get Jeremiah Wright some time off, and Tutal, and so it was really for some of them more rest. But and then we got to see the younger old linemen like Dre and those other young linemen get some reps in there also. But Tyler Johnson got quite a few, which he needed. And defensively, we continue to rotate a bunch of people in the front and at linebackers. So it's really not a lot of people that are left that are going to be ready to play, for this go round. But we did get everybody a bunch of reps.
Just in general, I mean, how important are these next 3 weeks going to be when it comes to, I guess, restoring confidence from the fan base and also just building momentum from your coaching staff and your roster right now? Yeah,
I think it's vital that we compete, and that's the expectation, and certainly that's the goal, and give our chance to win these football games against good football teams that we have to play to help build momentum, as you say, and confidence in everybody that we're headed in the right direction regardless of the record. And then recruiting is big too, to trying to finish strong and continue to get the 25 class to understand we're not far off. We need their help to come in and help us to continue this build.
Hugh, considering the offensive issues this season, can you just talk, not in depth, but briefly about how the play calling situation works between you and the two guys in the press box?
Yeah, it's a combination. Obviously the game plan is done by all of us, sitting in a room as to what we like on base downs and shot plays and third down and red zone, and so it's usually a mixture. Kent handles most of the third and longs, and Nix and I kind of combine on the rest of it, truthfully. And when you look at the yards per attempt and stuff, it's something that you kind of like. But the points are not coming, and it's we've been in there all morning just watching. And last week got to study a lot of other teams that are doing really well and are running the same stuff we're running, and are making plays. And we've got to, whether it's us adjusting our calls, limiting what we call, or so that our kids have confidence still at the receiver room. I think we're still young there in a lot of areas, and maybe asking a bit too much from time to time, so that they're not playing maybe as fast as they can play if they really had a great understanding of what we're doing. And so we're evaluating all of that, the calls, the number of things we're carrying, and trying to make sure that we can play fast and efficient the remaining 3 games.
Hey, Coach, with Brian Vincent and this ULM team coming in, he obviously took UAB to a bowl game. They didn't give him an opportunity to continue there. He kind of had a chip on his shoulder. He goes to UL Monroe, and he's really turned that program around, has some buy-in from those guys. What have been the coaching points and the lessons you're going to tell this team this week about not taking this ULM team lightly?
Well, we don't take anyone lightly from a staff's perspective, and I hope that our team certainly won't. We should have learned enough lessons about that over the course of time here. So this is a good football team that plays really hard and has good scheme and good coaches and enough players that scare you. So I think it's 22 he's a really, really good player. And then defensively, always in the state of Louisiana, there's a bunch of athletes, always, and they've got their share on that team for sure. And Coach Vincent, again, I'm impressed with the job that he's done both when he was at UAB and now at ULM. So we can't overlook them for sure.
Hugh, we saw Alex not available again for this last game after making a return. How's he doing right now?
I haven't gotten the report from today. I don't know if we let him off Saturday and Sunday, so but he was still a struggle as of last Friday, and he could not practice. So I'm not quite sure exactly where that stands as of this week right now.
Well, to sort of carry on with that, how does that affect your situation with kickers? And does the problem that there have been with place kickers affect some of your decisions now on fourth down?
I think it has to. The momentum lost that we've had I can't go back in my mind to every game, but I vividly know the Vandy, Missouri game, not getting points when we've had good drives that should result in points are definitely momentum killers, and they really hurt. And who knows what happens instead of having to kick off and hopefully, Towns has been very good at kickoffs, and they start on the 25. They're getting the ball to 35 or the 30, and the field position game, whether they score or not, they flip the field on us again. And like a Vandy game, they flip it, and we're on that yard line. And those are the hidden things in a game that when we don't get the points after a really good drive, after starting the second half with a stop and then going down and have a chance to take the lead, who knows what happens from that point. And so it definitely has got to start factoring in, is this four down territory? And how early in the game is it four down territory?
You just talked about field position. You guys have been backed up a bunch. How difficult does that obviously make it as a play caller? And then does that make it more important to try to find some of those explosive plays because 14, 15 play drives are hard to come by.
Yeah, you're just not. All you're trying to do when you get it back there is, can we just get it out where we don't give them the ball in the plus 50? And that's not an easy task when you're backed up there. You worry about holding calls. If you're going to throw it, you worry about, what kind of run can we protect both edges to be sure we get it out. And it's just not an easy deal. And it certainly seems like we've had more than our share of the backed up opportunities. We've done okay some, and then some you haven't, and the field immediately gets flipped on you and usually results in points for the other team. So hopefully, we're through with our backed up experiences maybe, but some of it's been, us with a penalty on special teams. Others been, again, we miss a field goal and they get 2 first downs and they're able to hit their sky punts, and they've executed them very, very well against us, it seems. And, hopefully, though, we've had enough of those experiences that maybe they're through for the year. But it's no fun being a play caller at the 1 yard line.
You mentioned kind of evaluating the big picture at quarterback and where you guys could go from there. Are there any other positions where, you guys are maybe starting to give some more reps to some younger players where I guess there aren't already young players?
No, I think we're already playing them all. That for the most part, all the young kids that haven't redshirted they're all they're playing in some form or facet, whether special teams or significant snaps.
Hugh, you've talked to us just so much about all the new challenges in this day and age of college football, where you have to do so much of recruiting your roster and managing that as the end of the season nears. When does that really start to ramp up to keep the guys here, plus you're recruiting elsewhere?
Yeah, it's already started. I mean, you're already actively having to engage in conversations with recruiting your current roster, which is not much fun and not something that I know of any coach that's really for, but it is what it is. And so most of that is going through our personnel office and our Own to Victory team, and I'm thankful for them that I don't have to engage in most of those, because that would be that'd be very hard to do and difficult, because you want to have genuine, real relationships that are built on trust and communication, and that's more and more difficult to do if you're having to handle every single facet and aspect of today's game. So, I mean, obviously you're involved at some point. I'll have to be, but you're hoping that a lot of that can be handled by, our people that are involved in other areas outside of just the coaching.